What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and it's Saturday, so it's time to go over some more community-designed exotics in Destiny. Now, this series was made possible by partnering with the artist Benjamin Radiman, who makes these amazingly realistic Destiny exotic weapon concepts. And remember that the ideas that you're seeing for the concepts showcased in today's video actually came from the comments section of last week's video. So this is a great opportunity to share your idea for a great exotic weapon that could be in Destiny. Now, although the main purpose of this series is just to get together as Destiny fans and look over some amazing exotic weapon concepts, I think there is slightly a bigger purpose. Although Bungie can't copy any of these ideas pixel for pixel, word for word, there's no reason to think that they might not get inspired by these ideas, and that some iteration of the ideas we're showing today might indeed make its way into Destiny. And at the very least, it'll show Bungie how much we as a community care about exotic weapons, and hopefully more will get added into the game. Now, before I begin, I do want to mention that Benjamin Radiman's art station is linked in the description down below. So if you want to know more about any of the weapons being featured today, including their backgrounds, including all of their perks, that's where you need to check it out. Additionally, a lot more exotic concepts were made that didn't make it into this video, and the only way to see these is to check out his art station. Additionally, at the end of the video, I'm going to go over the proper way to submit your exotic weapon idea and some advice that will help you get chosen for next week's video. So without further ado, let's get started with the Gaianetti Inheritance Exotic Pulse Rifle by Just Nate. Now, the exotic perk for this weapon is very interesting. It's called Linear Accelerator, and what it does is if you're able to hit all 3 rounds in the 3-round burst to the head of an enemy, so all 3 are precision shots, it's going to then enact a buff upon you. That buff is going to last for 3 seconds, and what it's going to do is it's going to make the next burst fired shoot even faster together, so the fire rate of the burst will be quicker. So essentially what it's doing is make your gun go, and excuse my lip representation, but it's making your bullets go ba-ba-ba to bra, and that's what it's gonna do. And this perk will stack 3 times. So what's going to happen is, let's say in a PvP environment, you shoot an enemy and you get all 3 headshots. Your next burst is going to be fired with a faster fire rate. Again, that burst fire rate is going to increase. That's going to increase your time to kill for a little bit. If you land that second burst as well, the thing is going to stack again, and your third burst is going to fire even faster and even closer together, again increasing your time to kill even more. If you're able to kill that enemy with another entire burst to the head, you're then going to be firing for 3 seconds at least at the fastest burst fire rate that you can achieve, and then all your other kills will be even quicker time to kills. Now, of course, that may sound a little overpowered, but there's definitely some drawbacks of this gun, and the first one is clearly having to land all 3 shots in a burst entirely to the head, so no body shots. In fact, if you get a body shot, the perk will disappear, and the buff will have to be reapplied by getting another entire burst to the head. Additionally, increasing the rate of fire of the burst is going to inevitably increase time to kill, but only by fractions of a second, because if you really want to increase the fire rate of a burst weapon, the best way is to reduce the burst delay rather than increase the fire rate of the burst. So this gun is actually more balanced than you'd think. And in PvE, this gun could also be useful as well, because it's a lot easier to get consecutive full burst headshots on enemies, because, you know, if you have a boss that's just standing there, isn't really moving, it's very easy to land burst after burst after burst and keep at that max rate of fire for maximum damage. Now let's move on to the next concept, the Executioner Exotic Sidearm concept by Aidan Schoffstall. Now, firstly, we need more exotic sidearms in Destiny. There's only one, the Drake's Promise, right now. Now, for the exotic perk of this weapon, it would be called Long Arm of the Law. After getting a precision kill, all enemies are outlined for you and anyone else using this weapon for 5 seconds, and then there is a 10-second cooldown. Now, I think this idea, as it is right now, is a little overpowered, just because for 5 seconds it reveals enemies, that might be a little too much. However, I do like the concept, I like the idea of it, and I think if it just revealed enemies for just 1 second, showed their positions, showed the hunters cowering behind walls, I'm just kidding, I meant to say warlocks, and just kind of revealed everyone in the area, again, for just like 1 second, and then obviously those players could move, and that information will become more and more irrelevant as time passes. I think the initial concept of like providing a burst through walls, you can see where everyone is for just a couple of seconds, is a good one. Now the next exotic concept we're going over is the Psychiatrix exotic auto rifle concept by DestinyPlays. Now the exotic perk for this weapon is enhanced targeting. Shots missed with this weapon track nearby enemies but only cause half the damage. Now this is a very interesting concept to say the least. On the one hand, it does sound a bit overpowered. Just having seeking bullets, even if they deal half the damage, that's still going to be very useful. On the other hand, nothing like this has really been tried, so maybe it's not overpowered. Maybe the fights are over quickly enough that seeking bullets usually wouldn't even apply. It's just a very interesting concept that I felt like sharing. And besides, we often take too much of a PvP focus on all of these guns, but if you look at it in PvE, this gun would be totally fine. Having these seeking bullets would just be an awesome addition. It wouldn't be overpowered at all in the PvE aspect of things. Now moving on, in honor of the Prison of Elders being updated for the April update, we're going to go over a couple of awesome Fallen themed exotics. The first one is the Forsaken exotic auto rifle concept by TheRealBatman. Which is funny because I'm the real Batman. I don't know who this imposter is. Now this weapon is very interesting because it has 3 different exotic perks that you can choose from, having one active at any given time. You can have the Forgotten. Getting assists with this weapon will refill the magazine from reserves. The Forsaken. Kills increase the amount of damage that will be done with the next magazine. Or the Forgiven. Kills with this weapon immediately start health regeneration. Now, I'm always in favor of exotics that let you customize the gameplay style, that let you choose different perks for different scenarios. And this is kind of a really interesting one. Which one would you want? I mean, refilling your magazine from reserves by getting an assist, that seems quite useful. You know, starting health regeneration right away on a kill, that seems very useful. Increasing damage for the next magazine, that seems very useful as well. So all of these perks are useful, and then you're going to have to decide, depending on which scenario you're in, which of these perks you want active at any given time. And this kind of customization and giving the choice to the player to choose how they want to play has been done on some weapons in Destiny, but I feel like it needs to be done in more scenarios. Now the last weapon we're going over is the Terra's 24th exotic hand cannon concept by Wyatt Duncan. Now the exotic perk for this weapon would be called By Your Side. Getting precision kills with this weapon will give your teammates 5% of their health back. It will also boost recovery speed for 5 seconds. Now firstly, I think 5% is kind of low. I would actually raise that to 10 or 15%. And I really think it's interesting that this gives your teammates health back, but not you. So you're benefiting your teammates, but you're not really benefiting yourself. It just boosts your recovery for 5 seconds. But again, that chunk of health is given to your teammates and not to you. This seems to be very useful in something, I don't know, like Prison of Elders. Having an entire team, your entire squad of 3 in Prison of Elders, running these 3 weapons and all healing each other would be very useful for that game mode. Now this actually probably wouldn't really be a PvP focused weapon, but in PvE, this thing would shine. Imagine going up to a raid and having 6 players all using this gun, all healing each other whenever they get a precision kill. This would be an absolute blast to use as a team. And again, I really like the team dynamic. I really like how the benefit is applied to your teammates and not yourself. This idea has really not come up before. Now that's it for the exotic concepts we're going over today. So if you want to submit your idea for an awesome exotic concept, what you're going to need to do is reply to one of the threads of the comments I am going to leave in the comment section down below. It's going to be very obvious. It's going to be my comment saying, put your ideas here. And that comment is also going to show you the proper format for submitting your ideas. Now remember, if you're gonna go to all the trouble of submitting your own exotic weapon idea, please remember to support this series by simply rating or sharing this video. Additionally, Benjamin has asked me to tell you guys that you need to consider if your ideas are overpowered. Giving an overshield every time you get a precision hit with a weapon is just overpowered. Increasing damage is probably going to be overpowered, so you need to make sure there's a legitimate drawback or that the bonus isn't too absurdly substantial. But that's going to be it for today's video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please remember to help this series out by simply rating or sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content from me, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.